On April 1st, 1940, Ed Gein's father, George, died of heart failure caused by his alcoholism at age 66. When Gein was 38 years old, he and Henry were working in the fields on their farm. They were burning away marsh vegetation, a common practice, but when the fire got out of hand and spread, the fire department needed to be called. After the firefighters had come and gone, and the fire was dealt with, Ed reported his brother missing. That night his body was found face down in the marsh, dead from asphyxiation. At first, the fire was blamed. The authorities soon realised that Henry had been dead before the fire got out of hand, and that he had bruises on his head. Authorities suspected that Ed had killed his brother, though there wasn't sufficient evidence to prove it. So they were forced to accept that his death had been an accident. Later, investigators would claim that there was no doubt that Ed had been the murderer. After his brother's death and his mother's death just a few years later, Gein renovated his farmhouse. However, rather than turning it into a more useful home for one, he boarded up every room that had been used by his mother, and instead moved into a single bedroom off of the kitchen. While the boarded up parts of the house remained pristine, the rest of the rooms became decorated, as Gein was lax about upkeep. While living in seclusion on his farm, Gein became interested in death cult magazines and Nazi cannibal adventure stories. However, as decrepit as he had become, he mostly kept to himself. Then in November of 1957, a local hardware store owner disappeared. Bernice Warden had last been seen the previous night and had been reported missing after her hardware store remained closed all day. Her son Frank, who had happened to be the deputy sheriff, entered the Gene's